Number 2, describe the competitive landscape and explain how globalization, technological changes shape it. The competitive landscape can be described as one in which the fundamental nature of competition is changing in a number of the world's industries. Further, the boundaries of industries are becoming blurred and more difficult to define. Consider recent changes that have taken place in the telecommunication and TV industries. Not only cable companies and satellite networks compete for entertainment revenue from television, but telecommunication companies also are stepping into the entertainment business through significant improvements in fiber optic lines. Partnerships further blur industry boundaries. For example, MSNBC is owned by NBC, itself owned by General Electric and Microsoft. The contemporary competitive landscape thus implies that traditional sources of competitive advantage, economies of scale, and large advertising budgets may not be as important in the future as they were in the past. The rapid and unpredictable technological change that characterizes this new competitive landscape implies that managers must adopt new ways of thinking. The new competitive mindset must value flexibility, speed, innovation, integration, and the challenges that evolve from constantly changing conditions. A term often used to describe the new realities of competition is hybrid competition, a condition that results from the dynamics of strategic moves and counter moves among innovative global firms, a condition of rapidly escalating competition that is based on price-quality positioning, efforts to create new know-how and achieve first-mover advantage, and battles to protect or to invade established product or geographic markets. A global economy is one in which goods and services, people, skills, and ideas move freely across geographic borders. The emergence of the global economy results in a number of challenges and opportunities. For instance, Europe is now the world's largest single market. Despite the difficulties of adapting to multiple national cultures and the lack of single currency, the European Union has become one of the world's largest markets with 700 million potential customers. Today, China is seen as an extremely competitive market in which local market-seeking MNCs or multinational corporations fiercely compete against other MNCs and locate low-cost producers. China has long been viewed as a low-cost producer of goods, but here's an interesting twist. China is now an exporter of local management talent. Procter & Gamble, located right down the street in Cincinnati, actually exports Chinese management talent. It has been dispatching more Chinese abroad than it has been importing management to China. Globalization is the increasing economic interdependence among countries as reflected in the flow of goods and services, financial capital, and knowledge across country borders. This is illustrated by the following. Financial capital might be obtained in one national market and used to buy raw materials in another one. Maybe manufacturing equipment bought from another market produces products sold in yet another market, or globalization enhances the available range of opportunities for firms. Global competition has increased performance standards in many dimensions, including quality, cost, productivity, product introduction, time, operational efficiency. Moreover, these standards are not static. They are exact and requiring continuous improvement from firm and its employees. Thus, companies must improve their capabilities and individual workers need to sharpen their skills. In the 21st century competitive landscape, only firms that meet and perhaps exceed global standards are likely to earn strategic competitiveness. As a result of the new competitive landscape, firms of all sizes must rethink how they achieve strategic competitiveness by positioning themselves to ask questions from a more global perspective to enable them to meet or exceed global standards. For example, where should value-adding activities be performed? Where are the most cost-effective markets for new capital? Can products designed in one market be successfully adopted for sale in others? How can we develop cooperative relationships or joint ventures with other firms that will enable us to capitalize on international growth opportunities? Although globalization seems an attractive strategy for competing in the current competitive landscape, there are risks as well. These include such factors as the reliability of foreignness or the risk of competing internationally, over-diversification beyond the firm's ability to successfully manage operations in multiple foreign markets. A point to emphasize Entry into international markets requires proper use of the strategic management process. Through global markets and attractive strategic options for some companies, they are not the only source of strategic competitiveness. In fact, for most companies, even for those capable of competing successfully in global markets, it is critical to maintain committed to strategically and competitive in the domestic market. And domestic markets can be testing grounds for possibly entering an international market at some point in the future. As a result of globalization and the spread of technology, competition will become more intense. Some principles to consider including the following. Customers will continue to expect high levels of product quality at competitive prices. Global competition will continue to pressure companies to shorten product development introduction time frames. Strategically competitive companies successfully leverage insights learned both in domestic and global markets, modify them as necessary. Before a company can hope to achieve any measures of success in global markets, it must be strategically competitive in the domestic market. Now let's talk about technology and its impact on competition. There are three technology trends, conditions that are significant in altering the nature of competition. 1. Increasing the rate of technological change and diffusion. 2. The information age. And 3. Increasing knowledge intensity. Both the rate of change and introduction of new technologies have increased greatly over the last 15 to 20 years. A term that is used to describe rapid and consistent replacement of current technologies by new information-intensive technologies is perpetual innovation. This implies that innovation, discussed more in detail in Chapter 13, must be continuous and carry a high priority for all organizations. These shorter product life cycles that result from rapid diffusion of innovation often means that products may be replicated within very short time periods, placing a competitive premium on a firm's ability to rapidly introduce new products into the marketplace. In fact, speed to market may become the sole source of competitive advantage. In the computer industry during the early 1980s, hard disk drives would typically remain current for 4 to 6 years, after which a new and better product becomes available. By the late 1980s, the expected life had fallen to 2 to 3 years. By the 90s, it was just 6 to 9 months. The rapid diffusion of innovation may have made patents a source of competitive advantage only in the pharmaceutical and chemical industries. Many firms don't even file patent applications to safeguard the technology that the information they have because of fear of it being disclosed in a patent application. Disruptive technologies can destroy the value of existing technology by replacing them with new ones. Current examples include success of iPods, PDAs, and Wi-Fi. We are now in an information age. Changes in information technology have made rapid access to information available to firms all over the world, regardless of size. Consider the rapid growth in the following technologies: personal computers, cell phones, computers, personal digital assistants, artificial intelligence, virtual reality, and massive databases. These examples show how information is used differently as a result of new technology. The ability to access and use information has become an important source of competitive advantage in almost every industry. There have been dynamic changes in information technology in recent years. The number of PCs is expected to grow to 2.3 billion in 2015. Given the declining of cost of information technology, and the Internet provides an information carrying infrastructure available to individuals and firms worldwide. The ability to access high level of relatively inexpensive information has created strategic opportunities for many information-intensive businesses. For example, retailers now can use the Internet to provide shopping customers virtually anywhere. It is becoming increasingly apparent that knowledge, information, intelligence, and expertise is a critical organizational resource and increasingly a source of competitive advantage. As a result, many companies are working to convert the accumulated knowledge of employees into a corporate asset. Shareholder value is increasingly influenced by the value of firms' intangible assets such as knowledge. And there's a strong link between knowledge and innovation. This means to achieve competitive advantage in the information-intensive competitive landscape, firms must move beyond assessing information to exploiting information by capturing intelligence, transforming intelligence into usable knowledge, 3, embedding it as organizational learning, and then lastly, diffusing it rapidly throughout the organization. The implication of this discussion is that to achieve strategic competitiveness and to earn above average returns, firms must develop the ability to adapt rapidly to change or achieve strategic flexibility. Now, what is strategic flexibility? That represents the set of capabilities in all areas of their operations that firms use to respond to the various demands and opportunities that are found in dynamic, uncertain environments. This implies that firms must develop certain capabilities, including the capacity to learn continuously, that will provide the firm with new skill sets. However, those working within firms to develop strategic flexibility should understand that the task is not an easy one, largely because of the inertia that can build up over time. A firm's focus and core competencies may actually slow change in strategic flexibility. Firms capable of rapidly, broadly applying what they learn achieve strategic flexibility and the resulting capacity to change in ways that will increase the profitability or probability of succeeding in uncertain, hyper-competitive environments. Some firms must change dramatically to remain competitive or return to competitiveness. How often are firms able to make this shift? Overall, does it make more effort to make small periodic changes or to wait and make more dramatic changes when these become necessary? 2 models describing the strategic inputs to the firm's strategic actions are discussed next: the industrial organization or external focus model, and the resource-based or the internally focused model.